by a culture which is based on measurement.
Once you start with forecasts, as we have classically, then we're going to necessarily move to 5, 6, 7, 400, 4,000,
Yeah.
an indefinite division,
Yeah, that's right.
and all in the interest, it is claimed, of clarity. All in the interest of clarity.
So unless we understand the movement of thought, we cannot possibly understand disorder. It is thought that has produced disorder. Sounds contradictory, but it is so. Because thought is fragmentary.
Yes.
Thought is time. And as long as we are functioning within that field, there must be disorder. Which is, each fragment is working for itself in opposition to other fragments. I, a Christian, am in opposition to the Hindu, though I talk about love and goodness and all the rest of it.
I love him so much, I want to see him saved, so I will go out and bring him
come
into
over
the
to
fold.
my camp.
Yes. Yes.
One of the, probably the basic cause of disorder is the fragmentation of thought. I was told the other day that in a certain culture, thought means the outside.
That's very interesting.
When they use the word outside, they use the word thought.
And we think it's inside.
And that's the whole, you follow?
How marvelous, how marvelous.
So thought is always outside. Whether you can say I'm inwardly thinking. Thought has divided the outer and the inner. So
That's right.
to understand this whole contradiction, measurement, time, the division, the fragmentation, the chaos, the disorder, one must really go into this question of what is thought, what is thinking. Can the mind, which has been so conditioned in fragments, in fragmentation, can that mind observe this whole movement of disorder, not fragmentarily.
No, but the movement itself.
Movement itself.
Movement itself, yes. But that's what's so terrifying, to look at that movement. It's interesting that you've asked this question in a way that keeps boring in, because measure is, and I'm going to put something now in a very concise, elliptical way, is possibility, which is infinitely divisible. It only comes to an end with an act, And as long as I remain divided against act, I regard myself as a very deep thinker.
I know.
I'm sitting back, exploring alternatives, which are completely imaginary, illusory. And in the business world, men are paid extremely high salaries to come up with what is called a new concept.
Yes, new concept.
That, yes, and it's called by its right name, of course, but it isn't regarded correctly as to its nature. It isn't understood as to what's being said when that happens.
That brings up the point, which is measurement means comparison.
Yes.
Our society and our civilization is based on comparison. From childhood in the school to college and university, it is comparative.
That's right.
And comparison between intelligence and dullness, between the tall and the black, white and purple and all the rest of it. Comparison of success, in success. And look at also our religions. The priest, the bishop, the hierarchical outlook, ultimately the pope or the archbishop. The whole structure is based on that comparison, which is measurement, which is essentially thought.
Yes. The Protestants complain about the Catholic hierarchy, and yet their scripture, their Bible, is what some Catholics call their paper pope.
Of course.
Of course, yes. With the very rejection of something, something takes its place which becomes even more divisive. Yes. Yes.
So is it possible to look without measurement, that is, without comparison? Is it possible to live a life, living, acting, laughing, the whole life living, crying, without a shadow of comparison coming into it? So this, I have done, I'm not boasting, or I'm just stating a fact. I've never compared myself with anybody.
That's a most remarkable thing. Most remarkable thing.
I've never thought about it even. Say, well, somebody much cleverer than me, somebody much more brilliant, much so intelligent, somebody greater spiritual. It didn't enter. Therefore, I say to myself, is measurement, comparison, imitation, are they not the major factors of disorder?
I've had a very long thought about what you said a few conversations ago about when you were a boy, and you never accepted the distinctions that were employed in a dividing way.
Oh, of course,
and within the social order. And I had to think about my own growing up and accept the fact that I did accept this distinction in terms of division, but I didn't do it with nature. But that set up a conflict in me.
Of course.
Because I couldn't understand how it could be the case that I'm natural as a being in the world, but I'm not somehow related to things